I study Liberian history, and as you may know, my wife is actually from Liberia.
I didn't know
And
that.
yeah, we've been married for almost 5 years now.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. So, and remember, I did the reception for my wedding at the No Exit Cafe.
Aha. It's
That
all
was
coming back to
That
me.
was in 2004. It was catered by the Heartland. So,
No commercial promotions here.
yeah. So, the Heartland has a special place in our hearts. But but anyway, so Liberia. I was actually in Liberia this summer, and I was there for 5 weeks, doing my dissertation research, and interviewing people. And Liberia has come a long way. There's still about 14,000 UN peacekeepers there. So, and they're trying to build roads and start resuscitate the infrastructure, sort of parallel to what we want to do here. But anyway, they had essentially 14 years of civil war that really destroyed, a lot. And one of the main things that got destroyed was the hydroelectric power plant at White Plains outside of Monrovia, the capital. And so that was the hydroelectric plant that was providing electricity for the entire capital. Now, the capital city, Monrovia, is about 1 million people now. So, and the whole country now is about 3.3 million or so. So anyway, that's a huge project for the president. Liberia did elect the first female president in 2005, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and so she's been in power for a few years now. And that's one of her major challenges, is to get the electricity going back for the capital city first, and then hopefully for the rest of the country. So there's a lot of problems. You have official unemployment rate is about 80%. So, here we're worrying about unemployment at 12% or whatever, but that's 80%,
It's all
the
bad,
people,
both places.
which is, essentially a lot of people obviously are working off the grid. They're not, they're in what they call the informal economy. They're farming or subsistence farming or different activities, But it's rough, and so a lot of Liberians, have resettled in the U.S. now, and you have probably close to 800,000 Liberians living in the U.S.
So what's
now.
the story with that? Like Liberia was founded by former slaves and freed people who were sent over there or went back.
Yeah.
And I think there was probably a split between people who never had left and different ethnic groups and those who former Americans.
Yeah.
And now they're coming back. What's talk about that process for a minute.
Well, Liberia has a special relationship with the U.S., but a lot of it's really one-sided, where the U.S., essentially Liberia is the closest thing that America has to a colony in Africa, because the Republic of Liberia was formed in 1847. The first settlers came, the so-called pioneers, came on the Black Mayflower, the ship called the Elizabeth. It was the Black Mayflower, and that was in 1822.
A reverse cruise.
Yes, reverse migration, right? And so, but anyway, in 1847, these Americo-Liberians, they declared independence from the American Colonization Society, which was the philanthropic society that sponsored the original colony, So, but anyway, it's really, so like I said, it's the closest thing, really, essentially Americans that were second-class citizens felt like they couldn't make a go of it here in the U.S. because of racism and a lot of barriers to success economically here in the U.S., decided to take their chances against malaria, yellow fever, all these tropical diseases, and head back and try to start a new life in Liberia before the Civil War. Essentially, the Back to Africa movement sort of died out by this time of the Civil War, because a lot of African Americans fought in the U.S. Civil War, and they felt that after fighting and dying, that essentially we're not going to leave because we've shed so much blood for this country. We deserve our 40 acres and a mule, everything else. So, but anyway, the Americo-Liberians never represented more than 5% of the entire population in Liberia, but they ran the country for about 133 years.
There's a lot to talk about here. There's the Truth and Reconciliation Commissions in Sierra Leone and in South Africa, changes in ANC in South Africa. I think that either we're going to get you back on the show. How long are you in town for?
Yeah, I'm flying back to Norfolk on Monday.
Well, it's not going to happen until the next time you come. But we're going to get more from you. And then we've been doing special interviews that you can see now if you go to YouTube. Under one word, Heartland Media, there's a number of Live from the Heartland shows popping up there now, as well as some special interviews. So we're going to make a date to do that.
Okay, sounds good.
We're going to. I'm going to ask Susan to cue up your song. Tell us what it's going to be.
Yeah, it's a woman singer named Chiwaniso, and she's from Zimbabwe, formerly known as Southern Rhodesia, and Zimbabwe's been independent now since 1980. So, and this song is called Vanarapa, and she's singing in the Shona language, and she's also playing imbira, which is the thumb piano.
Well, we're going to use that as our exit song today, and I want to thank everyone who helps make this show possible. Laura Herman, our producer, Lisa Smith, Katie Hogan, myself are the co-hosts. We have Evan West is our videographer and all-around helper. We have a number of other people who make it possible, and we're really glad that you tuned in. And what we ask everyone to do is to do good in the world, because the world needs all the good that you do, and keep on doing good, because, like I say, the world needs all the good that you do. And let's take it away with that song from Africa.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Michael.
DJ, it's good to see you. DJ Esperanto.
All right.